What comes up for you when you think of these two words? Airplane and toddler. I know, me too. Whether you're the person with the toddler or near the toddler, the unpredictable nature of these mysterious little humans leaves many of us anxious and hypervigilant. Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Kira Wackett. Thanks for joining me for another video as we work to empower and equip you with the confidence and skills to write your own story so that you can live your life on purpose. Today, I want to share with you 4 things I learned this past year from taking our little human on her first airplane ride. In August of last year, Everly boarded her first plane with Jordan and I, boarding for the first time in this new role. Now, as you can imagine, a lot of tension and anxiety presented itself. Are we going to be safe? Will she be able to keep her mask on the whole time? What do we do if her ears won't pop? Did we bring enough snacks? What if people judge us? What if she's miserable? Now, to be clear, most of those thoughts swirled around in my head as opposed to the collective. Jordan has a way less anxious brain than me and is able to manage those thoughts a little bit more effectively. And after months of mental, emotional, and physical preparation, the build-up during, and now getting distance from the experience, I came away with 4 important truths. First, mindset matters. Jordan and I did a lot of mindset prep work before we left for our trip. So much about this experience was new and had the potential to be overwhelming. From what to pack, navigating Everly's potential fears of being on the plane, helping her pop her ears, managing sleep, food, and hydration throughout the day, not getting overwhelmed with a short layover. Add on top of that the risk of COVID, being pretty far from home, seeing family Jordan and I hadn't seen since before the pandemic or when we became parents, and whom Everly was meeting for the first time, knowing our sleep would be disrupted and likely crap as we wouldn't have our room with our darkening curtains and fans. Whew. Just saying all of this out loud, it's a wonder we even go on trips. As the trip got closer, Jordan and I spent a lot of time talking about thoughts that we needed to hold, flex, and let go of to allow the trip, and most especially our travel, to be as smooth as possible. From the expectations we should be able to stop Everly from crying, to believing she wouldn't cry on the plane, we had to let go. From the worry that checking her car seat could put us at risk of not having it when we got there, or that we didn't have enough snacks or comforts to help her sleep, we had to let go. And the thought that we have to explain ourselves to anyone or owe anyone else anything while we're traveling, other than just the basic premise of not being a douche of a human, we, or mostly me, had to let it go. And what's interesting is the day of travel was incredible. She got scared exactly 2 times. When she walked on the plane and 37 plus pairs of eyes were all staring at her. And then when we used their plane bathroom, which you'll hear more about in a second. And it was fine. She ate, drank, used the bathroom, slept, didn't get hurt or lost during the day, which are all the makings of a successful travel day. Both of us reflected the next morning that life is hard in different ways as a parent. We're both taxed, and so much about why the day went the way that it did had to do with the mindset we had going in. We didn't carry or put onto Everly any anxiety or stress. We allowed the day to be what it was, even giving space for all the worst-case scenario thoughts to arise, reminding ourselves we could handle it if and when they did happen, and giving ourselves permission not to spend more time in the what if versus the right now. How would your life experience be different if you let go of the thoughts shackling you to fear and uncertainty and gave yourself permission to live it? Second, you don't have to carry it all, even if you can. If you've ever tried to carry a car seat through an airport, it's awful. Car seats, in my opinion, were designed to go directly into a car and never have to be taken out again. They're awkward, clunky, and cumbersome. Taking them to and into an airport on top of 3 carry-ons, a toddler, and her backpack, and our backpacks was no small task. As we got everything unloaded, we saw luggage carts just outside the airport against the wall. I went to check them out and saw they were $6, which seemed outrageous to me. But when I turned around and told Jordan and my mother-in-law, who dropped us off, they both said that $6 was nothing compared to the ease of which transportation would be with a cart versus trying to do it all ourselves. After begrudgingly spending the $6, I figured Jordan would have to be the one to carry it, so what he wanted mattered more than my financial scarcity thoughts. And then we went inside. Ironically, about 10 feet in, they told us that we could check the car seat at the counter and save ourselves the headache of gate checking and grabbing it before our connecting flight. I made a joke about how we apparently didn't need to have spent $6 if all we had to do was bring the car seat to the counter, to which the person in front of us said, "Yeah, but now you don't have to try and carry all those other bags while also taking care of a toddler at the airport." Who would have thought? Could it still be a positive? See, the luggage cart to me seemed ridiculous because I'm used to assuming a role of needing to do and be everything at all times. Needing help is something my brain coded for so many years as unsafe, too exposed, or vulnerable. But the reality is, using the $6 luggage cart was less about the car seat and more about how it allowed us the support we needed to handle everything on our plates without feeling overwhelmed or exhausted. It changed the way I showed up to the walk to security and the feeling of bringing our stuff to the market where we grabbed lunch. Throughout my life, any time someone suggested I ask for help or let go of something, maybe quit a job I didn't like or let go of a dream that clearly wasn't mine, I would hear the fear echoing throughout my head. You don't want people to think you can't handle it, do you? But the reality is, A, most people could care less what I do or don't do. And B, asking for help doesn't mean I couldn't do it alone. It means I don't have to, and I have the right to choose not to. That luggage cart felt like a luxury because my life story has been about not needing anything or anyone. And that luggage cart was also a sign of expansion and breaking away from that. I have the right to use support and to give myself permission to manage things without overwhelming or breaking myself down in the process. Third, we're all afraid of the unknown until we find a new way to engage with it. So have you ever tried to use an airplane bathroom when the lights don't switch on and all you get is that eerie blue backlight pairing perfectly with the intense whoosh sound of the back of the plane? You look down and you see the toilet seems less like a toilet and more like a black hole, sure to take you straight down and shoot you out the back of the plane. Welcome to Everly's first experience using an airplane bathroom. And let's just say it, the bathroom was not designed by anyone who ever had young kids, or at a minimum, was never the caregiver taking them to the bathroom. So as I tried to hold Everly, who was afraid of the floor of the plane, and maneuver myself to get her to a position to squat on the potty, while also having her cling to me in severe panic and resist moving down, I had to remind myself to breathe. I kept asking her what was upsetting her, and she just continued to repeat, "I don't want to go to this potty. I don't want to go to this potty. I can't do it." At first, I tried to keep assuring her that everything was fine. It's just like other potties. It's a toilet like you've been on before. It'll be okay. But as her nails continued to dig deeper and deeper into my skin the closer I got to the toilet, I knew we had to find a different approach. I had to think about why this was different for her. What was her brain afraid of? She isn't afraid to pee. She told me she had to go. She isn't afraid of toilets when we're in public or not having a toddler seat. We do that all the time. But as I looked down, I figured it out. I could already tell she was a bit overstimulated by the moving of the plane, the loud sounds, the blue strobe light in the background. And then I looked in the toilet, and I didn't see a toilet anymore, but the slide of doom underneath us. And that's when I got it. She had to be scared of falling through the toilet. She's tiny. That hole looked like it was the same size as her. And then she'd fall out of the plane. It looked a little creepy to me, and I knew I was safe. Quickly, well, as quick as you can move in a 6-inch by 6-inch room, I took a bunch of toilet paper and put it down into the toilet. Sorry, Earth. That was not my best move for conservation. I told her to look down and see the bottom. Instantly, she released her grip. Suddenly, she wasn't so scared. We were able to talk through it and see that she wouldn't fall in, and I promised her that I would hold her the whole time, which included me putting my whole leg on the floor to do so, which many of you know did not end up going well. Instantly, she took a breath, got all her pee out, and we washed our hands and made our way back to our seats. She was happy and excited to tell her dad about going to the bathroom. The reason that was scary to her is that the experience was too far from what she already knew. It was too new, and when your brain is hit with something new and unknown, its job is to assume it's a threat until proven otherwise. The same thing stops us from being assertive, setting a boundary, or holding someone accountable. For many of us, we've never done it before, so of course our brain has drafted every scenario where it can go bad. But like Everly and I finding ways to make the leap less scary, reminding her she's not alone and empowering her to see their task through, she could instantly release that fear. She wasn't scared to use the bathroom on the airplane at all after that, because her brain saw not that it was okay, but that she was okay. So where is your brain kicking up a fear response to things unknown or uncertain? And what does it need to loosen its grip on you? And point number 4, radical acceptance. Most things don't go as planned. I had a lot of plans about how things were going to go, not just on the plane, but for the entirety of our trip. Idealized versions of life taking place to make sure there are no disruptions or missteps. And yes, I can hear you laughing at me from the other side of the screen, especially you, parents. I know how wishful and anxiety-driven that thinking is. And it wasn't just stuff with Everly, it was expectations as a business owner, grieving a family member as this trip happened about a week after my grandma died, and so much more. How often do we have intentions and plans that shift, and rather than leaning into it with grace, compassion, and curiosity, we assume self-judgment and a negative outlook? And how often do we discredit when things go better, smoother, or open new possibilities than what was planned? For example, I planned on Everly having a hard time napping on the plane. She was fine. I assumed she'd be a bit scared at takeoff. She wasn't. I worried she'd get restless on the plane, and I overpacked my bag with snacks, games, and so many other ideas, which we used approximately 2.6% of. The lesson is that, in many cases, it's less about the plan and entirely about intention, mindset, and self-efficacy. With what intention can we show up to our day? What mindset shifts do we have to make to stop fear, shame, and self-loathing from constantly assuming the driver's seat? And how do we shift from hypervigilance, rumination, and overpreparedness to trusting that we have the skills, supports, and abilities to navigate good, bad, and neutral situations, people, and circumstances that might present themselves in our lives? Let me know in the comments which one is ringing truest or deepest for you right now. And be sure to check out the show notes for links to some other resources on learning to let go and focus on who you are each day as you show up to your life, rather than getting fixated on trying to do and be it all perfectly. If you haven't joined the AR Insider yet, be sure to click a link in the show notes to get yourself on that list, to get exclusive content and discounts I don't share anywhere else, and stay in the know on all the happenings of Adversity Rising. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to click that thumbs up and share this video with someone else you think could benefit from it. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you want to get an alert every time new content is released. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Remember, you have the right to author your own story. So let's go get that pen back. See you next time.